Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. For a radio audience tuning in at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all can be with us. Also tuning in online around the world, thanks to our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music. We're glad you all could be with us as well. This is part of our News You Can Use segment here at WYAD, and today we're talking about the health threat that is for youth when it comes to vaping. E-cigarette use remains a public health threat among youth and young adults, with more than 2 million middle and high schoolers currently using e-cigarettes. What can be done to address this, and what is out there to be able to provide as resources for those who are looking to be able to counter what is the rising, of course, threat of e-cigarettes? Here to talk to us about the problem and also where you guys can go for more information, we're excited to welcome two great guests for our program today. We have Amy Taylor, the Chief of Community Engagement at Truth Initiative, and we also have LaQuesha Wilkins joining us. LaQuesha is the Assistant Principal at Grier Middle School. Thanks to the two of you for the time today. Really do appreciate you stopping by.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Well, Amy, I want to start with you. I love the work that Truth Initiative does. We see a lot of that here in my home state of Mississippi when it comes to commercials. But how did we get to a point that we are now having a national youth vaping public health threat and seeing it spread the way it has?
You use this number in your opening. We're seeing more than 2.1 million high school and middle school students vaping. And what's further alarming is that those young people who are vaping regularly, which shows the signs of addiction. And how we got here is because the vape companies are creating these products in kid-friendly flavors like grape and cherry, and they have high levels of nicotine in them, so that young people who are just experimenting may be becoming addicted very quickly because these products have so much nicotine in it. The other issue that's of concern is cannabis. In the last 2 decades, we've seen nearly a 250% increase in the number of young people who are using cannabis. And there's so many myths out there about how cannabis affects young people, but what we do know is that young people's developing brain is susceptible to the dangers of these products.
Such an important thing for our audience to be able to be aware of. So, Amy, what resources are available for our audience to educate young people, not only about the dangers of vaping nicotine, but also vaping cannabis, as you mentioned?
We're very excited about a free school-based curriculum that's available to every school, every student in the country. We've already educated more than 1 million young people with this curriculum. Just this past year, we heard from teachers that we not only needed to address e-cigarettes and nicotine, but we needed to address cannabis as well, to really empower young people with the facts so that they understand that using these products can have negative impact on their mental and physical health.
Such a great thing. LaQuesha, I want to bring you into the conversation. So glad that you could join us here today from Grier Middle School. What has it been like for you to be able to see the way that using the vaping, the truth of curriculum has helped in your school?
Our school uses the vaping know the truth as part of our restorative practices. For those students who have been identified as vape users, either nicotine or cannabis, we use it more as a tool to educate and start the student discourse, to start the discussion, to allow that transparency about the hazards of vaping, because it is important to not only stop the behavior, but also provide the knowledge as to why. In the middle school, more so, they are really wanting to know the why. And we try to have that discussion and introduce more healthy replacement behaviors. Also, a lot of them have access where their older siblings or parents or someone else outside of school. So it's the transfer of knowledge. Once these students are provided that knowledge from the Vaping Know the Truth course, where they take it and become change agents themselves in deterring that behavior and to communicate that hazard of using vape products.
Yeah. LaQuesha, I want to ask you, when it comes to being in the schools, are you finding that it really is a team effort? Not only, of course, the parents, I'm sure, wanting to do their part, but also knowing that they have the support of the school as well.
Yes, that has been one of the major parts of it, just knowing a lot of the parents feel relieved to know that the school is supporting them. Oftentimes, parents don't know where to begin. Our students are in those rebellious stages where everything your parents say is the wrong thing, but to hear it from not only your parent, but your peers or the adults in the school, and also the adults in the schools being vigilant in knowing the signs. Oftentimes, a lot of these things are taboo. Either we don't want to acknowledge that they actually exist, but the reality is they exist. And if we are here to provide the education, oftentimes we have to talk about those things that we don't want to discuss. And the students are more apt, especially in middle school, to talk about them.
Well, LaQuesha, thank you so much for the great work that you're doing there at Grier Middle School, and appreciate you being part of our conversation today. And Amy, really appreciate you stopping by as well to get our audience, not only, of course, informed about the dangers that are out there when it comes to this youth vaping public health threat, but also where there is a resource. So, Amy, I want to ask you, where can our audience go to find out more information about the resources that are available?
Well, you can go to you can go to truthinitiative.com/curriculum to get information on our free program, Vaping Know the Truth.
All right, and we'll make sure that we link that up for our audience as well. Again, everyone, Amy Taylor, the Chief of Community Engagement at Truth Initiative, as well as LaQuesha Wilkins, the Assistant Principal at Grier Middle School, have been our guests, talking with us, of course, about help for those who are trying to combat the youth vaping public health threat and where they can go for this information. Thanks to the two of you for the time. Really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to having you back on the show, and we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live, part of our News You Can Use segment here at WYAD. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Then let's go make today amazing. Take care.